no boy can remain calm about the Lord tank. Look, many were attracted by the Abramax announced recently. It looks gorgeous. Talking about tanks, we must look at World War II. According to my research, driving a tank in World War II wasn't an easy thing. This time, let's experience the life of a tank driver in World War II. To be a qualified tank driver, you should know what challenges you're going to face. Surprisingly, tapping perfect for a tank driver is height, not driving skills nor strong will. It's common to have height requirements for soldiers, but did you know some troops have a height cap? Tank soldiers are one of them. The China issue regulations on recruitment of soldiers stipulates that the height of tank crew members should be no taller than 178 centimeters. My 182 centimeters height prevents me from contributing to tank force. That's sad. However, this is not most stringent standard. The Soviet Union during World War II required tank soldiers to be between 160 and 170 centimeters in tall. Why not taller soldiers? That's because Soviet tanks were designed to be as low as possible. The designers believed that low tanks could escape attacks more easily, which could improve the survival rate of the tank. The tanker had to operate in a confined compartment. The driver's position is particularly cramped. For example, the Soviet T-34 was 3 meters wide and only 2.45 meters high. It was very uncomfortable for drivers and signalers to long operate on side by side in front. In such a space, it was difficult for tall soldiers to make moves that look pretty well, but rules are meant to be challenged. The 1.9 meters tall former Russian Deputy Prime Minister Rogozin has tried to drive a tank. However, he got stuck when he got into the cab of T-19 and the hatch wouldn't close. Technicians had to remove some tank's equipment, and Rogozin got out of the tank by a hard push on the butt. Obviously, tall people in tanks don't go well. If you're the right height, congrats. The battlefield is just around the corner. However, driving a tank in reality is different from rampage shown in movies. The terrain factors should be taken into account. For example, tanks can move in swamps. Why is that? Let's start with the mechanical analysis. A tank running on flat ground has many forces, including gravity, ground reaction force, aerodynamic drag, ground drag, as well as forward tracking force. Tanker tracks move in opposite directions. When the tracks come into contact with ground that create enough friction, the track stays relatively stationary, and the tank sitting in the tracks or travel forward relative to ground. The attracting force is proportional to the adhesion coefficient phi and the ground reaction force. With constant ground reaction force, the larger value of phi, the higher the attracting force. One of the major factors affecting the phi value is ground condition. The more solid the ground, the greater the phi, and vice versa. Here's a table of adhesion coefficient for tank. It shows that hard asphalt has a high phi value, while sand, mud, snow, and other types of ground with poor shear resistance have a low phi value. It's better to stay away from these ground types. Building block, what about hills? This brings us to the maximum gradability of the tank, generally expressed as a percentage rather than an angle we're familiar with. Suppose a tank that has conquered many small slopes in its climbability test encounters a slope with angle alpha. It tries its best but still fails to climb up. The height is called A and the horizontal distance is called B. Its maximum gradability can be calculated as A out of B times 100%. The maximum gradability of the well-known T-3485 is 58%. In other words, the super powerful T-3485 still fails to conquer a hill greater than 30 degrees. But theories are not enough to make me believe that driving a tank is difficult. Further confirm, I played against a friend in a game called Road of Tanks on the suggestion. It was so realistic that I got surprised. Firstly, the game production team stimulated a very realistic battlefield. My first driving a Hong exclusive traveling through a newbie village is really impressive. I'd like to go up a big hill to enjoy the scenery, but it was blocked there. So it's impossible to break the law of physics by driving tech in the game. Yet based on the game's realistic physics engine, I happily took advantage of the bug of crashing into trees and breaking into ruins. Further, the game also highly restores the actual tank-to-tank combat. Even if you hit target, there's a probability of no blood loss. There are 5 types of tanks in the game: light, medium, heavy, tank destroyer, and self-propelled artillery. They each have their pros and cons. To find the right way to fight, you need to practice many times to master armored strength, shell properties, battle position, battle-like control. However, gentle press like this and this is common in real battles, so hitting is not key to win, but hitting angle and position. As a free game, players can be top-up players with their skills and strength. See Qatar versus Ecuador. As far as I know, World of Tanks has officially released an instructional video to help players calculate a rigorous angle attack and defense. I can't thank you enough. Of course, World of Tanks offers much more than that. It brings together more than 600 tanks, tank destroyers, self-propelled artillery from over the century, including many test tanks that have never been in service. The production team traveled around the world's chariot museums and collected all kinds of rare joints and materials to be able to restore them through surgical-level reconstructive techniques. The still busy having no opportunity to participate in history are lucky enough to be born in the game. Now, where can I get my tanks? Click link in comments. And register to get an exclusive newbie package free. A 14-day premium account, 500 gold coins, 500,000 silver coins, a parking, a fog crew, and an M3 sturdy light tank are all for you tech lover. With the theories and this World War II light tank, you must be the most shining one. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy it.